You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No. It can never be denied. Circle in a square box. I think not.
There's more true.
You know, that's like one of them kind of simple but deep, you know what I'm saying?
But that's all depth is. Taking something simple and finding the truth in it and applying your perspective to it and applying your experience.
Hold on. The cornerstone moment. Like a real. Never been no end to me. Complete circle, you know. Yeah. Flying saucer. A wheel again. A record. So meet us there.
This gotta be the intro to your podcast. Like quite literally, like there's no way to do it. Even when you force it, you can make it smaller, but it doesn't fit.
It don't fit. It
Now it's gas.
It don't fit. The corners, the squareness of the corners, you don't even feel those. You know what I'm saying? And that squareness will never understand who you are because you're not aligned with that.
That's why it's hilarious, because the concept is like, okay, the circle that shrinks down to be in a box now is not fulfilling the full frame of it, and then shame for his inability to fill in the gaps.
Right.
You left that uncovered. You left that. Of course, you want to leave 4 points uncovered.
I'm not made for this.
I had to shrink myself into being this motherfucker in the first place. Damn. Ooh.
It's facts.
Yeah, it's cool, right?
I'm stuck. I'm not stuck. I'm constantly in that space. I'm constantly in that space of.
Are you recording? Oh, okay. Yeah, of course you are.
I always edit it out.
Indeed. Okay.
I edit, and I keep it so natural that there's no real delineation, because it isn't.
I like that.
That's been my issue with podcasting, conversation, media. I've been writing a poem about the revolution will not be televised.
Yeah.
That concept of like, what does the TV do? Sells lies.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like
you're inadequate
you're
if you're
inadequate.
not living up to the lies. It's like you're not comparing yourself to the lie.
They're putting
enough.
They're putting circles on a square box.
They're putting circles on a square box.
They're putting 3-dimensional figures in a 2D plane.
Come on.
Showing you one side. Confused about why you don't know what the back of their head look like, because they only show you the front.
Because they don't show that. It's edited out. Yeah, it's edited out.
And it doesn't have the ability to at times. Because it could show you 2 planes, but then it's like you're still missing a side. You're not going to get all angles.
Yeah.
You're going to get one side, and the side that they feel you deserve the most.
Yeah.
The side they feel is the most impactful.
Or the side that's going to maneuver you to a mindset and a place of thought that's going to be best for them.
Then there's lighting to remove shadows.
Ooh.
There's no shadows.
Ooh.
Intentionally. The shadows that are put there, they want you to see that shadow.
Yeah.
You don't see shadows on the news.
Ooh.
But you see shadows in a gossip. You see shadows in a dark show. They gotta show the shadow because there's a whole place dedicated to your shadow life.
To the shadows, yeah.
You don't see the shadow life of the news anchor.
Right.
You just see the I'm
prim and
proper, and I'm here to tell you about the news.
Always dressed nice and never a speckle on my face, because that's who I am.
And the only thing that upsets me is news about things I don't understand. And I'm not looking to understand it. I'm looking to slightly comb over it in a way that pleases the people who fund this program. So is these concepts that I'm collecting consistently coming back.
Yeah, but that's what it is. And that's why, man, I don't know. To me, being good stewards of your mind, your eyes, your mouth, you know what I'm saying? Even your nose to a certain extent, you know, to really be sure that you're taking in things that are gonna bring you peace, happiness, and peace of mind.
Intentional.
Peace of mind. Intentionally.
Intentional consumption.
Intentional consumption. Because I feel like everything after that has the ability to manipulate us and potentially even shackle us to a certain level of consciousness. You know, it's just like eating candy. You know, it tastes sweet. You know what I'm saying? It gives you a nice little dopamine little hit for a second. But
Is
in
it
the
what
end,
you need?
it can help rot your teeth. It can also degrade your body if you keep on consuming it because it's not filled with nutrition. You know what I'm saying?
It's intentionally void of it.
It's intentionally void of it. And it's intentionally addictive. So you intentionally need to avoid it. And
That's the part.
intentionally make decisions for wellness. And that's why, you know, I always talk about wellness from my organization, Optimal Wellness Community, because it's really about making choices of wellness, not just, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to talk about, you know, healthy eating and talk about diabetes. Nah, like that's illness. Let's talk about what can you do to intentionally have a mindset, you know, geared toward what's the best thing I can be eating. You know what I'm saying? And if I need to eat something that's not in alignment with that, how can I balance it out?
Circling around a problem.
Yeah.
Circling around a problem in your helicopter, which a view on it doesn't get you down on the ground to fix it.
It does not.
It gives you all the angles of it. Oh, look, that's where they're standing.
Yeah.
That's how it is. That's what it looks like.
Right.
These are the things that I see present to bring about this circumstance.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to get out of the copter to actually pick up some of that trash that I have an issue with.
Right.
I'm going to go to speak to
Come
these
on.
people.
Come
I'm not
on.
going to direct. So it's like when I sit with it, it's like
Yes.
I'm at a point where I've been blessed with tools to approach the things that I'm struggling with.
Yeah.
I speak about journaling. This is a journal that's helped me through.
Oh, indeed.
I'm putting devotional messages that I watch on the live in this journal.
I love that.
And the one last night really stuck with me because it's like so many times people will tell you what you aren't because it fits their narrative. The journal is not only to document your emotions and to let things go, but to recollect, to collect, to inform you at a later date about who you were, why you were, and in totality. Because even if I only put one sentence, I got a clear concept of what that sentence means because I was there. You see a picture. Oh, that's your birthday party when you were 5. Mom's is like, oh, you were so happy that day. I was like, no, I wasn't. I really wanted that fire truck, and you got me a race car. And race cars are cool, but I really wanted a fire truck.
Yeah.
I know that look because I remember making that face as I was blowing out those candles.
Yeah.
That's what the picture does for me.
It's accurate. It's an accurate depiction of who you were in that moment, in that time.
The written word takes it further.
Yeah.
Because we can argue all day about what I wanted.
Yeah.
And you could think you know me more because of this relationship.
But that journal is a reflection of the you that you knew you were.
It's my word.
That's your word. You said
in a moment. Nobody's taking me back through my past without my journal. Oh, that's what you think?
I love it.
Oh, this is what my journal says.
I'll tell you, man, I'm always, for the last probably like 10 years, I've been so off and on with a journal. I don't think I've ever been more than like 2 months consistent. But then again, I don't ever think I've been more than like maybe like 3 or 4 months not writing a journal. You know, but I would love to have that consistency and kind of like weave that into my time.
I think it's so much shame given to us when we're inconsistent. And
that's true.
And it's weird because, and I say given to us.
Sometimes, yeah.
It's a mix. It's like I've sat with the inconsistencies that brought me to consistency.
Yeah.
And I'm saying
the impact of inconsistency. Yeah.
The journaling for me happens the most when I'm the most stressed. But that's when it should happen.
Yeah, that's when it should happen.
Right?
Because you have to release.
It also happens at my high moments because I now understand the full weight of it. But I had to understand, like, I had to really be conscious of the moments where I wasn't journaling, but I wish I was. So I sit with that like, oh, I needed a journal. I still have a memory, but that little spot's a little blurry, and there's a couple people that got their opinions on it that really don't make sense. And I remember how they were talking to me, when they were talking to me, why they were talking to me. Oh, you're saying this because you want me to do that because it serves the friendship better if I'm doing this rather than who I really am. Oh, you want this while you're drunk. You're leaving a moment. You're drunk having this conversation with me about very important parts of my life. You found a time to speak to me about what my future should be in an intoxicated state. That's when you felt the most comfortable to tell me truth. You couldn't just say it soberly.
That's people though.
In a healthy way.
That's people for you though. People,
there you go.
People are so socially locked and disconnected from them true self, from the true selves, where it takes intoxication in order to get honest with themselves. And that's not strength. That's not anything to be proud of. That's a real crutch. That's something
Super
that
crutch.
the only way you're going to be able to get past it is by actually engaging in those uncomfortable moments of growth where you have to be honest and have those conversations with a sober mind. And to be able to have that. Because I'm all
have
about
it with a sober mind, right?
Yeah.
It takes bravery. It takes courage. It takes intention. It takes finding other ways to be intoxicated. And that's what I get a little offended by when I sit with like the limits I impose. I was like, oh, weed, alcohol, these drugs, those are the things that intoxicate people. You can be intoxicated with knowledge. To
And
the point
music,
with music. You can be intoxicated with love. Lust is
Facts.
intoxicating. Lust doesn't take the drink for you to have a lustful desire, strong desire.
It does not.
It literally takes, she blinked at me.
Yeah, right.
She's cute. That's my kind of blink. Like, that can drive a person to do things like, why are you doing that, bro?
Absolutely.
You just started fidgeting and you'll never fidget.
Right.
So it's these things that are also intoxicating, but don't go acknowledge that because the word has lived in one space for so long that removing it or putting it somewhere else is like, oh, that's offensive. You can't say it there. Why can't I?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Absolutely. I think maybe because that kind of, I guess that the word toxic in there refers to toxins. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't know if that's really a thing, but that's just kind of my kind of deciphering of it. So I don't know, inebriation or you know,
and also inebriation.
I don't know.
And it's funny because the negative connotation is due to years of that word being said in that sense.
Right.
So it's like trying to reform words. We know some words that have strong desire for reformation that just don't work out because it always comes back to its foundation.
Right.
And the foundation is the tree that cannot, the bad tree cannot bear good fruit. Like the foundation is the initial sapling. I got to start it officially.
You got to start it?
I am a guy from a place, CharmCityBipper. Quis The Vndl. Marquis is the name my mama gave me.
Okay.
I'm here with a brother that I've met in passing who's given me gems that I ran with. I've given him gems that I may not have known I gave him because that's how life goes. One of the first gems was continue to flow because the bike, life is like a bicycle ride. It's wobbling, but what's the worst thing you can do when it's wobbling? Try to come to a stop. Get scared. Press the brakes too quick. You jolt off of it. You fall over. Keep pedaling. Keep pedaling through the minutia, through the struggle, through the strife. He's a therapist. He's working at the Greenmount West Community Center. I mean, I want to shout them out because they're an awesome space. And there's a lot of awesome spaces in this place that I'm from. We're at our house. This is a space behind. This is like a garage setting. You know, this is the city that I was born in and I have to love.
Yeah, be more love.
And I have to love and I choose to love.
Indeed.
So, Victor.
Yes.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, no problem, Marquis. Pleasure to be on the show. You know, we met, I think he was talking about at Greenmount West Community Center. I am the owner of Optimal Wellness Community. That's an organization that really seeks to be able to bring people together in the true essence of community where they're communicating. You know, we have different morals and principles of that community that we hold strong, you know, and we really bring resources together to give them to the people and critically think and analyze about how we can live our best lives together. And we use the context of the 8 pillars of wellness in order to be able to do that. And that includes mental, emotional, nutritional, spiritual, physical, occupational, social, and economical. You know, so really being able to constantly take dives at that and like repeat the eight pillars in community sessions where we're coming together, we're hanging out, we're vibing, we're enjoying who each other are, we're honoring that, we're supporting each other's businesses, and honoring people's identity, you know, and what it is they're trying to do and who they are and where they're going as well. So that's optimal wellness community, and that's what I do. And I love the space that I'm in, and I love having conversations like this with cool young brothers that make me excited about the future.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people that are really getting it. You know, their consciousness level is really, really rising to an amazing point where I know we're soon gonna be into this place of system building, and there's been so many oppressive systems that's been guiding our behavior to our detriment, you know, and to our disempowerment. Like, how and when are we going to start commandeering our own culture to be able to cultivate the spaces and ideologies that's going to serve us best?
The biggest question that sits in my mind, and this is one that I pose to myself: do you have to be a perfect person to do the work?
Absolutely not. I think it's almost better if you don't, because, and I mean, even with my space is like, and I see me as being a leader, being an effective leader. I see one of the strongest traits that I have is being able to be vulnerable with my garbage, you know, because I'm not perfect. I am not perfect. And I've been in spaces, and I recently was in a space, you know, where, you know, I was kind of like, I guess, railroaded for not being perfect, where it was like, you know, somebody in authority, like people gathered around a person in authority and was like, oh, he wasn't perfect, you know, and now it became a whole thing based off of judgment, you know, on, I guess, a perception that I was supposed to be perfect. And I'm like, hey, did you talk to me about it? No.
Was your approach in rectifying this situation perfect?
Come on. And that's the thing. Like, if I'm always seeking to grow, like I believe in wholeheartedly in a growth mindset, you know, but a growth mindset and just being able to grow in general requires a certain amount of awareness and consciousness, you know, and if you make me aware of something that I know is offensive or is, you know, not really leading to developing the best space, I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to use the tools. I'm going to see who I need to see in order to rectify that, because that's the type of leader I want to be. I want to be a leader that's going to take the steps to grow, you know, to do what's necessary for the community and for myself, first and foremost. Let me say that, because I'm not community before myself. Like, nah, this experience is really about me more than anything.
That's one of the funnier parts about working in community. Sometimes there is a fantasy about what community work looks like. Most times there's a fantasy involved with our expectation of how people are supposed to show up. It's not truly based in a full understanding of what it looks like. So, well, if you're working in a community, there's no way you ever did anything wrong in life.
Come on.
Perfect people are only allowed to lead me.
Come on.
We accept many imperfect leaders by force.
Right.
So when people volunteer, we feel as if I won't accept you at all. But you've been forced to accept the
garbage leaders that are in
the toupee individual.
Yeah,
You're forced to accept
right.
Individuals old enough to where you wouldn't respect them if they didn't have money. Right? You were forced to accept individuals who've aged out of community and don't care about anybody that's coming after them in some of their rhetoric. They've aged out of community. It's like, oh, like, not that your age is I'm going to use your age against you.
But aged out of the relevancy.
What connection do you have to the next 40 years in life when you've made it to 70?
Right.
Realistically, I honor you. I respect what you've given.
Right.
And I'm going to use what you've given as a reference to build the future, right?
Yeah.
But you're making decisions that won't actually impact your children.
Right.
Or will only impact your children in a positive way and no one else's.
Oh, how about that? It's
these things that I'm sitting with a lot lately, and coming back to that concept of the fantasy of what it looks like to be in community and be perfect. History has many angles But just like the journal I spoke on, if it's written by an individual with one narrative that isn't honest in their reflection,
Come on.
we'll
Come
only
on.
see a person in one light, and we won't acknowledge that the man who said I have a dream also did a workers' strike before he was murdered.
Murdered.
He
Murdered.
also
Murdered.
was very intentional about saying that I'm nonviolent up until a point.
Yeah.
Like,
And he also mentioned, I feel like I led my people into a burning
I
house.
also feel like I let my people into a burning house.
Talking about desegregation. You know what I'm saying? And that's what leadership's not perfect.
Leadership's not perfect.
Leadership's not perfect. Especially-
Nothing that man does is.
Nothing man does is, you know what I'm saying? Even if they're under the influence of the Most High, like still we are, the message it comes through man. You know what I'm saying? Well, man or women, that's
It comes
saying
through
man is man, right?
Human beings.
Human beings,
It
right?
comes through individuals
Yeah.
who have been put here in this plane, having a human experience.
Exactly.
We are interpreting these spiritual messages, and it
Right.
may come through as a Buddhist ideology. It may come through as a Hinduist ideology, but
Right.
these categories we've even assigned to them are to help us interpret it better and feel more comfortable with it.
Exactly. And I think it's a certain I feel like in a lot of spaces, the word that's missing when it comes to that organic kind of leadership that's now developing is grace. And knowing that people aren't perfect and having that grace, but that's something that is transformative within self first.
Hmm.
Is this gonna interrupt the?
I got a cool way of blocking some sound. It may appear a little bit, as long as the mic, because it's picking up this the most.
Yeah.
And you're speaking loud enough and clear enough for your voice
Okay.
to be the main
Well,
presence.
it's all good. I stopped talking through it anyway.
I'll edit it.
Yeah. Right. It's only goes to the good side. But I really think grace is something that starts individually. It starts from the individual. And I mean, and that's when community building is really like harping on the grace to forgive yourself and to know you're human and you're going to make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And now being able to hold that in communal space where it's like, oh, okay, you made a mistake. Okay, well, let me just bring it to your light, give you the awareness of it, and see if you and give you that grace of being able to make a mistake and see how you respond to that. Because life is all in the response. Once again, like Marquis was saying that I told him before about the making sure you stay in motion. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're always moving, unless you're on like a circular track or something, most of the time you're always dealing with the variables that you have to deal with. You have to adapt, and things may look similar. They may be in the same kind of relation, but it's always going to be different.
You
know
can
what I'm
slow
saying?
down
But
to
you-
slightly adjust.
you slow down to
redirect.
slightly adjust, but there is a response that is developed through grace.
And grace is such an interesting process for me.
Mm-hmm.
It started with giving my parents grace.
Ooh.
I also allowed the grace. I also
Ashe.
began to understand the grace I allow for others is the grace I allow for myself. The grace I allow for myself is the grace I allow for others. So it's
Yes.
so much of a teeter-totter
Yeah.
at times, and it is a fluid process. There'll be a day where I have no grace for anybody. No, I don't understand. Close off. And then somebody will do something like, hey, you got space for this?
Right.
Oh, that is another perspective. There are drugs being sold to pay medical bills.
Yeah.
Oh,
Facts.
there are people who've only known one way of life.
That's it.
Then there are
They don't
individuals who knew other perspectives and made that choice,
Yes.
who are actively trying to defy something else.
Come on.
In order to get to a point.
Right.
I didn't like church
And that's why
because of that.
I stopped watching Power after Ghost died. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man,
That's the
Tariq,
only one I was here for.
Tariq, bruh, come
Yeah.
on, man. You're Silver Spoon.
Yeah.
You didn't get all the best everything. This is an
You got
option.
it.
You're choosing to risk your life.
Choosing,
Your
yeah.
life? I mean, he would have been dead if it wasn't for his dad.
Yeah.
What a Man, I was
He
like,
don't got
man,
it. It's not in him.
That's what
It's not in him.
It's an instinct. You know what I'm saying?
On. When you put it on,
he's putting on.
yeah, put it on.
That was a facade, and he, you know what I'm saying? He had not been raised in that. He was like, what is it? What would Bane say? You know, I was born in the darkness.
You adopted
you
it.
adopted it. Adopted
Adopted
darkness
it.
for no reason. Stop choosing darkness for no reason. You know what I'm saying? If it's not gonna serve you. And the thing about darkness is it can have its place to address shadows, you know, and maybe like do some development and having to go intrinsic, because if the lights are completely off and everything's completely dark, what you can be sure of is yourself, your body. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's when you go inside. That's when you find yourself in the darkness. You know what I'm saying?
This was so special to me.
But you can't, you don't know, you can't see in the darkness. You know what I'm saying? So you can't, it's not an enlightened place. It's a place where, you know, where even if you keep moving forward, you're going to be a whole lot more likely to fall in a pothole, bump into something, trip, because you're not seeing clearly.
You don't control the darkness.
You don't control the darkness.
You don't control many aspects of this experience.
Right.
That's why people who submit to the highest have a different outcome in their journey. What I've come to understand is God is with you in all spaces.
Ooh.
The person who goes in denying his existence has more trouble in the darkness. The person who was brought into this plane in a dark reality has God with them.
Has God
That's
with
what
them.
gets them out of it.
Yeah.
And what's misunderstood
Yeah.
is like, it's so many stories in the Bible, so many stories in sacred texts where God sends people to war. He sends them to do missions that don't make sense, but it makes sense for the reality that they are presently under.
Yes.
So it's like,
right.
when I sit with the city that I'm from, I know a lot of people who have great hearts.
Yeah.
They exist in dark spaces because that's what they've known. That's what they were trained to navigate.
Exactly.
I wasn't trained to navigate it in that aspect.
And that's the beauty of like being birthed in darkness and having it surround you. Like, yo, you are skillful in the darkness. Like,
Got it.
people are able, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, you know, most people can't see in darkness, but some can.
And
because
let them
they're
be your
so
guide.
used to it. They can guide people to be like, oh, you're in the darkness. Let me, you know what I'm saying? And that's why with Optimal Wellness Community, it's not about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to empower people to be able to do this who are a lot more culturally responsive to the place that we're at. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I'm not a trauma person. Like, I'm middle class, you know what I'm saying? My dad was a doctor, you know, but I just have a heart for Black people in the community. And I'm like, you know, I've never really worked corporate because I'm like, I'm not giving my time, energy, and intellect into systems and things I don't believe in. I don't care. I will learn it. I'm smart enough to learn it. I'm smart enough and disciplined enough to learn things on my own.
The thing we often overlook with community is segregation and Jim Crow forced us to be together no matter what position we came to in life.
Yeah.
Your mayor would live on the same block with you.
Ooh, come
your
on.
doctors would live on the same
Come on,
block
bro.
as your trash man.
Right.
And there was communal effort
There's
because
communal.
we naturally lived together. You hear that bang last night, John?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vic, I heard that bang, man. I don't know what's
I don't
going
even
on
know what
out
it
there,
was.
but you gonna have to look into that, brother.
Right.
All right,
Be safe.
Enjoy your
You
day
know?
at work, brother.
Right.
You feeling good?
And this is the mayor talking to the trash man.
To the trash
Which is
man.
like, yeah,
When
we connected.
you move out of community
Yeah.
and don't want to go back because you were harmed in community,
Yes.
rather than communicating the way we communicated about that bang we heard last night, you're now going to talk with people who don't own the community about the bang you heard last night.
Ooh.
We're now going to talk to people about community issues who have no investment in community beyond dollar incentives.
Oh.
What purpose does anybody
Oh.
who isn't from our community,
Oh, John Hopkins, help me interpret this. Help.
what is your stake in this fight? That's why I said, it's like, what is your stake? My stake in the betterment of Baltimore is not only about me. It's about the kids who look like me. It's about the kids who will play with my kids that look like them.
Yeah.
It's about the people who came before me. It's about my grandfather who walked Patterson Park and got called a nigger.
Wow.
And I gotta say it, he walked through this city, was called a nigga in regular clothes and plain clothes going to work.
Wow.
Being called shiftless on your way to work. How does that
How
make
am
you
I
feel?
shiftless? Right. How am I shift? I'm lazy because I'm going. What are
I'm
you talking
lazy,
about?
I'm good for nothing. I'm on my way
Oh
to my
God,
job.
you have no idea what you're talking about.
So when I see people check out,
Yeah.
I can't always I'm intentional about not being so quick to judge and shame, but to
Yes.
recognize what makes you check out. What part of
Yeah.
this society will make me say I'm done? Because I've met it.
Come on.
I've met that wall.
Bro, I've been in places where I've experienced such resistance, bro. Like I felt the wind of give up. I felt it breathing down my neck.
Don't quit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, just lay down, man. Just find that corporate job, bro. Just do you. Do you. You know what I'm saying? Do you. Just get this money, bro. Don't even, you know what I'm saying? And it's like,
What's the cost of doing you?
man, the cost is not honoring the calling. The cost is not being authentic to who I know I'm supposed to be. The cost is not manifesting what I know is in my heart to manifest. The cost is an abbreviated life. I don't want an abbreviated life. I want a life of freedom, of love, abundance, empowerment. And I want to be able to share that empowerment. This is not something I want to hold for myself because I know I can gain so much of it that I can just overflow. And as I'm gaining, I'm just pouring out like, oh, we are all good. Like, okay, you align with who you are and what you're doing. All right, here, boom, go to this place. Okay, cool. Yeah, you, boom, go to that place. Like, we good. I'm tapped in. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just the plug, man. I'm connected to the source. You know what I'm saying? To the point that I want to become the source. You feel me? Yeah.
We're in an era. We're in an era where
you feel me?
we are recognizing light is all powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Light is expansive.
Mm-hmm.
Light is so powerful that is areas that are not fully impacted that we are still recognizable in. This isn't strong enough to stop that light.
That's true.
Darkness has limits.
Mm-hmm.
You can cut a light on and we good on that.
Yeah.
You have a little street lamp that light up a whole
block,
a whole zip code. Like, well, how did it get that much expense?
Right.
Yellow, broken, weak, but it's still, they put enough light out here.
Still gonna put enough light out of.
A lot of times we get afraid to spread light. What is that fear based on?
I think a lot of times we if you're around people that have been cultivated in negative emotions and darkness, then when they see that light, they want to snuff it. You know, they're like, that's not what we do here. You're hugging, you're giving love. Like, that's corny.
That's not love.
That's not love. I
don't identify with that as love.
Come on.
Even if that's what you were raised on.
Come on.
And it's healed you to be who you are. And it's the reason you even have these tools to bring to this space.
And I think we were talking about one time how if you don't have something within yourself, then you're not able to recognize it on the outside. So if you don't have love within yourself or for yourself, you know, you see somebody smiling at you and you're like, how are you trying to manipulate me? And really, you're just kind of giving love and being cool, you know? So it's like how, you know, a lot of times people's minds are just crafted in negativity, in low emotions, you know? So, you know, but once again, it's an awareness thing. Like if you don't know no better, you can't do no better. You can't miss what you never had at last. You know, you can't miss what you never had. You know, so it's like, yo, like
you don't know you can have it.
You don't know you can have it. You don't know it's a birthright.
You don't know how to have it.
You don't know how restoring it could be. How many parts of yourself has been shunned or going unexpressed because of your affinity to negativity and the darkness and shunning your light and shunning others' lights.
When people, and I would say people, I laugh at when I made so much room for negativity that I was upset by the positivity of others. And now I'm in a space giving positivity and at times upset with why people shun me, forgetting that I've shunned
that
people
you've been that.
in the past.
Wow.
So that's why.
What did you do? Was it kind of along with what I said, or what was? I want to know the differentiating factors.
I grew up in a space where judgment was protection, where you had to be judgmental, because your lack of judgment will have you too open to people trying to harm you.
Ooh.
So you are
that's interesting.
Focused on defense rather than offense. You're focused on so much
going
defense.
with that, because I want to kind of was that it?
Full circle. Look, full circle. It comes to be.
But that's the space I'm in. It's like I was in a space where I was too open. Meanwhile, people over here like trying to scheme on me, and I'm just out here like just giving love because it's like, oh, we're family. No, we're not.
Not
you can't
at all.
even be honest with me to my face.
Nothing shows you who's family more than your dark periods.
Yes.
Always be conscious of your dark period and your light is what I had to do. I had to be conscious that everybody honoring this light does not acknowledge the darkness. If I post about schizophrenia and you don't notice that post, if I post about the problems with porn and the addiction that it is, and that's the one you want to, I'm too good. I'm good on that.
Yeah.
If there's any, I'm good on that. You can't have the part you love so much, because the part you love so much is only possible because of the part you deny.
Ooh.
You can't pick and choose what part of God you want. You can't pick and choose what part of light you want. Everything is up for question. Everything's on the table. When you come to him, you come to source, you come to her, if that's what you choose to acknowledge, everything's on the table to be assessed. That's your judgment day. That is your way to freedom. The cost of freedom is not hiding anything. You can't hide something to be free.
You can't hide something and be free. Oh, that needs to be resaid.
Why do y'all have clothes on?
Damn.
Why y'all got clothes on? What's going on in the garden?
Come on, the garden.
Why y'all covering yourself?
In the garden. That's shame. We're shamed.
That's the first sin.
I need to cover up. I need to cover this part of me that I think represents darkness or things that's not good. My private parts. Oh, it's my sexuality.
You did what I told you not to do.
Don't see that.
And then you hid the thing you did.
Yeah.
You pretended that you didn't do what I told you not to do. In my face.
Come on.
So you're lying? You're ashamed of the lie?
Come on.
You're guilty?
Let's talk about the fall from grace.
All of these foolish feelings that are showing me you're not God. You're not going to be me.
The road.
You're not meant to be me.
You're not meant to be me.
I'm the source. I am.
I am.
It's saying like it's.
I am. It's a firm like just being.
I am.
It's being. It's not like. Yeah, it's like I am. That's it. I am.
In the sentence.
That's
I
why.
am, period.
That's
period. Why. And it's like,
period.
As I sat with it, the defense mechanism became the limiter. The defense mechanism became fear. The defense mechanism became I don't know if I should go to this event because they might try to harm me.
Right.
And nobody has that intention. It became speaking for people who could speak for themselves.
Ooh.
It became more damage than good. But because I grew up with it and that was the tool I was given, rather than a journal, rather than more hugs and smiles. My father used to kiss us on the forehead before he left our presence. After he left, people would laugh at us. It's the type of weird type of weird thing, kissing boys' foreheads. Like, what? My dad loves me.
What?
In proper context, everybody didn't even have a relationship with their father.
Right. Exactly. They don't know. They don't know what love looks like from a man.
I'm being told about marriage from people who've never seen a happy married couple.
Bro.
Never seen a married couple.
I had my mom, God bless her soul, she passed 3 years ago, but she had this friend that wrote this book, How to Become a Millionaire Using Real Estate. And I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool title. Is she a millionaire? Doing real estate? No.
She's a researcher.
She's a researcher. You can't miss what you never had.
Can't miss
you
what
don't
never
know.
Had. Can't teach what you've
can't
never
teach
done.
What you never done.
What we talking about?
Come on. Come on.
My grandparents were married from 19. They were 19.
Yeah.
And 21, probably around that age, 19, 20.
Yeah.
My grandmother was older. They remained married till they died.
That's love.
My grandfather didn't. I think he dated a little bit in private, but it wasn't like I'm moving on. I'm done with your grandmother. She died before he did, when she was in her early 60s. He died not too long after that. I think about 3 or 4 years.
Got you.
She had 3 kids before they got together.
Oh, wow.
In the late 60s, early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Black men's not supposed to be with stepdaddy in that era, especially that young. She getting off the bus. He said, "Oh, that's mine." He didn't have to find nothing else out about it. He said, "That's mine." They had 9 kids together.
Oh, wow.
12 kids in total.
Wow.
Every child can attest that was their father.
Yeah.
I'm talking to people saying what relationships have to be.
Yeah.
They don't know that story. If they saw that story, they would think all the kids were his. They would tell it from another vantage point. They'll see it starting in present day and shame it. But congratulate the end of the story. Oh my goodness, 50 plus years of marriage, all those kids together. Oh, it's so beautiful. You don't know the ins and outs. A lot of people don't know, even after me saying that some of the children had an issue with the way the relationship was. They didn't like certain concepts in a relationship, so they run from relationships. And at times tell their children to run from certain relationships.
Wow.
So this concept of love is such an individual process. This concept of self can't be anything but an individual process.
Yeah.
But the way that the individual interprets community must have a similar foundation. We have to share certain values.
Yes.
We have to share certain values to build.
Absolutely.
If our concepts of love are too combatant, if our concepts of safe space is too combatant and like not in line, like we say,
right?
Where do we go from there?
Yeah, where do
we
go
just
from
continue to speak on problems. We continue to circle around the neighborhood in our helicopter and point and put it on the lie machine.
Yeah, the lie machine. That's funny. Nah, you're right. No, it has to be a framework of similar experiences. Like you said, it has to be, and that's what I see happening when I tend to build my communities. Is so many people that have done the work have these transformative experiences. Whether it's talking about healthy eating, whether it's talking about emotions, whether it's talking about mindsets, whether it's talking about planning, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and just evolving. And it's just like, wow, you start to see what a real paradigm of healing looks like, not through one person, but through the collective, you know? And I think that creates a space of a non-judgmental space, but a space of admiration. To be like, yo, I knew this person 10 years ago, and I see they've lost 100 pounds. I see they went from smoking weed every day and playing video games to now having their own trucking business and being married with kids.
And they'll let you know what they cut back on.
And they'll let you
know.
They'll
let you know they had to cut back on the thing they love so much. They had to
sacrifice. It was sacrifice.
The sacrifice is not
about the grace.
It's not that other side. The sacrifice is not, oh, I've signed my name in blood. The sacrifice is I'm not going to do these things that feel so comfortable anymore as much as I've done them. Yeah. I'm not going to do them to my detriment. Yeah. To the detriment of the goals and dreams I've set for myself and the family I envision.
Right. And I'm going to love myself enough to discipline myself for who it is that I want to be.
Discipline is self-love.
Discipline is self-love.
Free sweat movement.
Nah, I'm working with a lot of kids this summer, and I love dropping how important discipline is. I always talk about, and mindset, so I always talk about Michael Jordan being cut in 9th grade, from basketball. And I was like, do you know what kind of shame he must have felt, and how easy it would have been to just give up, but to have a growth mindset and a mindset that said, you are not going to determine my worth.
You got it.
And I'm going to show you that by disciplining myself enough to practice to the point that I am the greatest.
What's more powerful than repetition?
What is more powerful than repetition? And it's almost like that's also one of the definitions for religion. A practice is a religion.
Repetitious
What
practice.
are you practicing daily? What are you practicing in your thoughts? What are you practicing in your habits?
Have you committed these things to memory? How do they get committed to memory?
Repetition.
This was so
Repeating
funny,
it.
right? My
Right.
I always say that. Oh, that's rote. Rote doesn't work. You use rote to teach this class.
Yeah.
You're here because of rote practices, and now you've come to say that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it's like the only people I've ever seen do that are either selling something, egotistical, trying to deny like the process because they didn't trust the process.
Right.
They resent the process. I don't resent the process.
Yeah.
I know that the reason I got healthy to the point that I am is because I ate a specific diet.
Yeah.
There were intentional things that I did not do. I did not do soda. I did not do juice for quite a while.
Right. I do juice.
If I reintroduce juice,
I'm gonna take that one away from my counting, but I do juice.
But look,
I don't do I do it much.
when I brought juice back, it was not preservative.
Yeah, for
salt,
sure.
sugar
100%
filled
natural.
juice.
Yeah.
It's not Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And I like Kool-Aid at one point, but the juice that I come to know is like, okay, I can do pomegranate. I can do watermelon with mint. I can do apple juice with ginger.
Yeah. Oh,
I can have turmeric and juice. I can
Yeah.
have tomato juice.
Yeah, I know.
Like, and I mean, like, why can't I have these things?
Right.
I can have veggies. That's juice.
Yeah.
So it was a recognition that like there's a lot of pieces to this puzzle missing. There's a lot of things that are on the table that I've assigned to be something that they're really not. And I've only allowed them to be one thing when they're very multifaceted. This tomato can show up as juice. It can show up as a topping on a burger. It can show up diced up in my salad. It can show up as a whole soup to hold a lot of other veggies and things. It can show up in so many ways. But I was like, oh, tomato, ketchup. Yeah. Tomato. Yeah. I really like tomato.
Yeah, and I think that's a good metaphor for community being able to recognize the different perspectives and being able to kind of honor the transformation that's possible within ourselves. You know, how many of us are tomatoes that just fell to the ground and nobody used? How many of us are tomatoes that were used to make some of the most mind-blowing marinara sauces that you've ever had? How many of us were just tomatoes on a McDonald's burger?
You got it.
How many of us was tomatoes on a gourmet burger? You know what I'm saying? Like,
for the show, not for the nutrition, not for all the other parts.
Come on, not honoring the fullness of that tomato.
The grease on the burger don't even let my flavor pop like
Come on. They ain't really tasting me.
I'm really the star of the show. Like, I'm supposed to be the main course. You got me as a side dish.
Right. So we have to create spaces to honor the fullness of ourselves, the wholeness, the different perspectives, the different aspects of ourselves that need to be honored and shine light upon, you know? There's so many women out there that are doing an amazing job at raising their kids, putting out books, hosting healing spaces for other sisters, you know what I'm saying? And doing amazing things, right? But there may be a side, a perspective of them that hadn't quite been able to connect with men. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, like people do the work.
I've met
people can do the work to the point where they can stop. They can get to a point where it's like, I'm good. Yo, I mean, I'm good, but however, I'm always trying to grow. You know what I'm saying? I can always be better. I have on my IG, always good, always getting better. Victor Freeman 17. This, FYI. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like there, like just how dope can I get if I continue to learn and continue to discipline myself?
Content with your imperfections. Content with what you're allowed to be. And understanding he ain't done with you yet. Right. Understanding you ain't done with you yet.
Absolutely.
You don't have that choice. And it's an interesting space because it's a point where I took the perspective that like, this was my life. I'm the reason. And like, if I want to take it, I could. That's how sad I was and depressed and dark I felt at times. Wow. This was in my youth, like in high school. Because I started learning about existentialism. I started learning about different philosophies that made me question people who live longer, question them to the point of foolishness because I didn't live the parts that they lived through, but I judged them, right? So I'm like, oh, I wouldn't do that. And here I am at this big old age, having done a lot of the things I wouldn't have done. Yeah. I don't see why people would do that.
Right.
How could you go do that? How could you sacrifice for a dream?
Huh?
How could you sacrifice all of it? I can see how I haven't lived in my car. I've been blessed not to have that experience. But
me neither.
I've come close. I've come close to even thinking about it.
Yeah.
To thinking about van life. To thinking about another alternative to still pursue this thing that makes this conversation possible. That makes it possible for whoever's watching this at whatever period they come across it to move forward in their life empowered. That is the intention.
Yeah, bro. Man, when I tell you I've not been driving in the last like 8 months. And it has been the best. I never don't drive.
Can I say that it's very inspiring to see you pull off on a bike?
Bro.
Like it's funny. Like as a black person, another black, I'm like, bro, that's no gas. That's your body.
No gas.
That's a great ride because I know how I love to ride bikes. I love like I got to ride a dirt bike the other day, and for the first time, I was like, oh, this is beautiful. I got to buy one now and hide it. But like, I was just like, bro, I love to see people venture into a space that we can all be in.
Yes,
that's the reference.
Easily,
you doing it.
And the thing is, like, I'm so committed into the me that I'm becoming. I don't care about the perception of, oh, he's too broke to have a car. You know what I'm saying? And I came out of my house today, and I looked across the street, and I seen my neighbor had a boot on his car. You know what I'm saying? With a sign, and I was like, I just laughed. I was kind of smiled at myself because it's not a neighbor that I'm not too fond of. The guy's kind of, weird white dude. Yeah, never says anything. Like, I don't live right beside you and see you like 3-4 times a week. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
life.
That's not gonna happen to me. Nobody's gonna boot my bike.
Boots on bike.
Nobody's gonna put a boot on my bike. You know what I'm saying? But I'm free from that. I'm free from paying car insurance. You know what I'm saying? Like if I need something, if I need to have a car, I'll do one of the little car apps, for the day. And I'm really like free. Like it's giving me, now I'm saving like a couple like $500-600 extra a month.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Easily. So now I'm able to save some money. I'm able to go on some more trips. I'm able to give some more money to the mother of my child. Like I can do more things. But it's like what are you willing to sacrifice to have your freedom to do what it is that you want to do for your dream?
The cost of freedom is sacrifice.
The price of freedom is
sacrifice.
I don't think there's any kind of way around that. I don't think there's any kind of way around that.
Something will be sacrificed.
Yeah.
And what's so powerful about what you said is there were moments where I recognize I'm working for my car. I might be employed by this company. I might be employed by that company, but I work for the car. The car is who I work for. I was like, oh, yeah. So, yeah, I'm paying car, and then I'm paying gas.
Yep.
So I work for you. How are you? How you doing today?
Hello, car.
Yeah, hello. So it's so sad because there's times where I came to those realizations and kept going into that void. So I want anybody out here to know, like, the reason I asked the first question, did you have to be perfect? Was because in getting to the healing and getting to the sacrifices, there were a lot of imperfect moves. There were a lot of moves that I couldn't fully explain. There were a lot of moves where I was like, I don't really know why I did it, but it made sense and it felt right because I'm moving with faith. And the dark place we speak about that life takes you to doesn't allow for sight. It only allows for faith.
Ooh, because it's insight. You're not relying on your eye for real.
Insight.
You're relying on the inner eye. You're relying on the third eye. You know what I'm saying? The inner sight.
Oh, those doors are closing. Oh, that's not fair. That's not even your door.
That's not your door.
That's the door next door. That's not even a room for you. You just you thought you remember a door that you remember what his door sounded like when you had sight.
Yeah.
So now that you in the darkness, you want to go through the door that it sounds like, the door that it makes feel like when you touch it, you feel the braille. Nice door, kind door, nice door for suckers. Is that for suckers? Is at the bottom. You can't feel suckers because you've been duped.
Right, you didn't completely fill the door properly, which you're
in the dark.
In the darkness, yeah.
And when you're in the light, the way you talk to people in the dark is very important.
It is.
Because when you go to the dark, they'll be the ones guiding you.
Facts.
They'll be the ones who have the keys. Oh, I don't never talk to the guy at McDonald's. Guy at McDonald's is related to someone in public office.
Right.
They were actually the difference, but they were your elevation. They were your way out. And you didn't know because you were disrespectful every morning. You didn't have a good morning for your neighbor. You didn't know your neighbor actually works for the boot agency.
Bro.
Your neighbor could have actually helped you get that boot off if you said a couple more good mornings.
What's up, bro? Yeah. Let me tell you how funny it is. The difference between people treating me when my locks are not done and I don't have a sharp lineup, and how dismissed I get. Mindful of knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always studying. I love studying, you know? Like, I'm an active learner, you know? And you know, in general, I speak to people and I leave them with some kind of blessing. You know what I'm saying? But the curtness and the slight subtle disrespect of that comes with jumping off a bike with locks undone and not clean shaven, you know, the amount of judgment, which is one of those traits that you said you kind of hold on to when you're saturated in places of fear and darkness, you know what I'm saying? That has stopped the relationships and potential impact that I could have had in people's lives is like unfounded. It's unfounded. And it's just like, how many people have you separated out of your lives due to unfair judgment?
How many people have been your medicine?
How many people have been your medicine?
And you're screaming about how sick you are.
Come on.
I used to say I hate people. I used to be proud of my avoidance of people.
Wow. Yeah.
People are the reason this is possible.
Come on.
I used to be proud of shunning wisdom. I used to be proud of the walls I maintained.
Wow.
I recognized as I grew, did therapy, self-reflect, yoga, eat different. A lot of these walls were limits that were not needed. They were false protection from an outcome that I cannot control. I will die. I will die. Will it be today? I hope it isn't.
Hope it isn't.
But it isn't my choice.
It's not your choice.
It was never my choice.
Never.
I was born.
Yeah.
It was not fully my choice.
Yeah.
I may have made a choice.
Sometimes
I believe I may have chose my parents.
Yeah.
I feel that's more empowering.
I think I did.
I feel I chose my parents. But when I came here, it was not all my design.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, oh, I'm here, but they are ruling above me.
Yeah.
And now as I've grown taller than them, like, they did dictate most of the points where I was shorter. Like, I wasn't taller than my parents till like 10th or 11th grade.
Yeah.
So all those short years, that was their decisions.
Right.
Mixed with mine. And then some of the decisions I go on to make after their guidance are based in how they raised me. The relationships I decided to take on. The people I felt were safe. But based on who my parents showed me what safe was.
Wow.
So I'm blessed to have parents who are out of the box in some ways, closed in others, open-minded enough to know they don't know it all, giving me wisdom like I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, even when we're not in church on every Sunday. Giving me wisdom like cause and effect. What you do to others is what is done to you. These universal laws, right? Giving me that guidance. My father takes us to Germany in 5th grade.
Oh, nice.
I'm in 5th grade. My brother and sister in 2nd. We're in Germany. Nice. Heidelberg, Germany.
I know Heidelberg.
3 kids from East Baltimore.
Nice.
Like Northeast Market before it's gentrified East Baltimore.
Yeah.
Walking around a whole foreign country.
That's awesome.
And we're there for reasons that people didn't agree with. Because my father had an outside child. Somewhat out. It's not really outside because he wasn't married to my mother any longer.
Yeah.
Or they were divorcing, but to sit with that concept. Oh, how could he do that? Well, I was in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And I love my brother regardless.
Yeah.
That's that brother, not half brother. I love my brother.
Yeah.
I love my siblings, all 4 of them. Right? I have 4 through my parents' genes and then a stepsister, but we don't do that.
Right.
Why would I do that? Because we have bonds that others would not have. She has a love for my father that I have for my father.
Mm-hmm.
It's the end of the story.
Yeah.
So I just sit with like how much of the world has allowed societal views, which are just a collection of individual ideas, to dictate what their life will be.
Ooh.
My life is not determined by a statistic someone else holds.
Come on.
It's not determined by a probability or a percentage.
Nope.
Because a percentage of black boys who never see Europe, it's so great that me telling that story feels crazy when I come back to a 6th grade class to tell them I went to Germany this summer.
Come on.
The percentage of black children who go into a mental hospital and don't come out is so high that when I tell you I went there in 2016, because I almost got shot by police and a lot of other things in my testimony.
Oh, yikes.
This doesn't seem real.
Wow.
So when you live in a reality that never felt real anyway, what's your limit?
What's your limit? What is the limit?
We live in a reality where from the start you get juicy juice.
But you realize how many of these limits have been self-imposed based upon not being disciplined enough to follow the path of enlightenment.
An imposition. Self-imposition.
Self-imposition.
You have put yourself out of alignment.
To yourself.
Because of fear. Because of what somebody else birthed into you, forced onto you.
Yeah.
But you gotta accept it.
You gotta accept it.
I gotta accept it.
You gotta accept it.
And
for me, I feel like that's the real steps to manhood. It's when you're like, it's me.
It's me.
When you constantly be like, no, it's me. Such happened. It's me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you do the work that you need to do for yourself to make sure that you kind of stay aligned.
Ooh.
and you correct, you know, what kind of behavior shouldn't be there. You know what I'm saying? When you're always taking that onus and you know that that's who you are, can't nobody tell you nothing. Can't nobody tell you nothing about yourself for real. It's like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
note that. Get one of these.
Get one of these.
Note that.
You're like, nah, I'm good. Like, I'm aligned. Like, my intentions are good. Like, I know who I am through and through and through.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And that's the thing. And I tell kids, I do this practice, which I think is really awesome. But I do, it's like the who are you practice. We can do it real quick. So, you know what I'm saying? So what it is I'm going to say, who are you? And you give me a positive aspect of yourself. You know what I'm saying? For 30 seconds, I'm going to keep asking you, who are you?
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, hold on 1 second. I got to take this call. Hello? I'll call you later. All right. Peace.
That's how natural it get. That's how natural it get. I love it.
Yeah. So we went sailing Monday night till like 3:30.
Fire.
Yeah. My life's great. Let me tell you, my life's great. I don't know what to tell you. My life is wonderfully blessed.
And look, if it wasn't by a standard that I felt proud of, it's still great.
Right.
And I say that because it's like, it was moments where I was like, why is there ever a point where I felt I had to deny myself? Why was there ever a day where there was a condition for the love I give myself?
Oh, shit.
And that's the question.
Why was there ever a day that there was a condition for the love that you gave yourself? Damn.
Florida Evans dropping the
oh man.
Dropping the
Tupperware. One more time. Why was there ever a day that there was a condition for the love that you gave yourself?
Wake up.
Yeah. Wake up and love yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've made it this far. You know what I'm saying? You're like, man, you're not in jail.
Abundantly.
All your hands work, your mind works. You know what I'm saying?
I stand on my head.
Come on, you can stand on your head.
That my parents were not allowed to go to.
Come on.
I sit in spaces.
Come on, we're here right now.
With people who tried to limit us from being in said spaces.
Yes.
By the way they placed it.
Yeah.
By all of these weirdo ideals.
Come on.
Here I am.
All of these weirdos, disempowering ideas.
Here I am.
Right.
I am.
And
Who are
I
you?
am, and I am is worthy of love at all times.
It's
Let me
not
tell
one
you.
moment
It's not one
in
moment.
the jail cell,
Right.
in the in debt,
Yeah.
at a job I hate.
Come on.
That's not just that doesn't mean I'm not deserving of
No,
love.
that doesn't mean this is here in the space.
I know outsiders got their conditions.
This is
I know they're
sharing a
gonna feel what they
space.
feel. Oh, you don't
Yeah.
got your dreads done well enough to. You don't got the
Come on.
haircut.
Come on.
Your waves ain't spinning like they used to.
Right.
Your face done broke out. You ashy.
So-
I said this
so-
temporary, baby.
Right. Right.
This a temporary skin.
I know I'll be telling people when I do hit because I showed up, with the youth, done up and things. And they were like, "Oh yeah, you look nice." And I was like, "Yeah, I got to look like somebody love me because I know, even though I love myself." But sometimes, and I mean, that's the thing when you really find yourself and who you are, and you get into that, and you understand your intrinsic value, you start mining your talents. You start finding the things that who you are, who you're meant to be. You know what I'm
Got it.
saying? Like you understand spaces and places you're not in that don't see that value.
Yep.
And that's why I'm very particular about cultivating spaces that help to see our value. Like I want you to be able to express in community spaces. You know what I'm saying? Cook what you need to cook. Say what you need to say. If you can speak, if you do spoken word, if you sing, if you dance, let us see you dance. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you are who you are, and we want to honor that. You know what I'm saying? There was this post on IG talking about this famous violinist was playing in the subway, and he was playing like one of the hardest compositions to play, right? You know what I'm saying? Played it for like 4 or 5 hours, I'm making up a little bit, but that's what I'm
Still
gonna say.
feeling,
But yeah, you know what I'm
Possible.
saying? But it's if he played for a long time, period. And I think maybe he got like $10, $12. And most of the time he plays gigs for $10,000.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying? But because people were not able to see and understand his value.
When it's done for free, they don't know the value.
Come on. They don't
Like
know
right
the
now,
value.
this podcast, right,
They don't know the value.
has been interesting to me because a thing I really got upset about was the way that people go into marketing. Marketing, the value of marketing has to be shown in a lot of different ways before it's understood for its value. This podcast has been $1 million idea for me since I did the first one in my uncle's house 23 days before I released it. And then the 17 I did after that first one, before I released the first one, solidified what it was for me. It's birthed in darkness. It was given to me in a dark period of my life. So as I stepped out to do it,
Yeah.
I did not intend to do interviews. I kind of had a wall up about interviews because I had a lot of limits in what I saw an interview to be. I saw so many people having conversations about frivolous things that weren't moving people forward. I saw so many people making it about them rather than the person they brought onto the show. I saw so many people with false relationships built around an intangible that won't matter in 10 years.
That ain't it.
So, with that being said, first interview was with my cousin. The way it even comes about is he always talked about podcasts. That was a shared love of ours. He invited me to a podcast. He put me on to other people's podcasts. So when we talked about possibly doing one, I was like, of course. I need people to know that you're a film director, that you have been a film director for 10 years. And that you've been dedicated to it. You went to college for this at a time where people were telling kids not to even go to college. You chose an art degree. Like, I need people to understand your value in my life and your value in community. So we had the podcast in the car because my car is so dirty. I want to take it to the car wash. I'm also like, I want something different. I don't want to just be in my aunt's house right now. We get in the car, we drive around for about 2 hours, recording it, laptop on the back seat, makeshift podcast style. Like using the what do they call it? Using the thing that holds the phone holder, the holster to record. Like it's just so impromptu, so innovative, so fresh, so new, so much so that everybody thinks that was my intentional style. They think I set out to do it. So then I set out to do it.
Oh, I love it.
As
love
I
it.
set out to
So
do
that's why
it.
you do like all organic kind of spaces and rooms. And
Why look for it when it's here?
I got a really dope natural spot that's close to here. You know what I'm saying? I see you.
Big facts. Look, if you got a part 2,
we're gonna hang. Yeah,
Yeah,
we might do
big
part
facts.
2, 'cause this is great.
bro.
This is great.
We gotta have your
Some
song
serious bars.
for the Vic series, the victory,
Ooh, the victory series.
the victory series.
Ooh,
Because this is actually an
like
interesting point in my life
yeah.
for a lot of reasons.
Mm,
I've done everything I said I would. I've proved my points.
come on.
Now I'm setting new points to prove.
Ooh, you better come on. You better come prove them points, bruh. You better prove the points, bruh.
Victory, victory, victory.
My God.
I've proved the points.
Yeah, you proved the points, bro.
And it's bigger
Come
than
on.
the points I had to prove to people.
It's proves. You have to prove to yourself.
So,
You have to prove to yourself.
oh, you doing handstands?
Because I mean, that's yeah.
Oh, you doing cartwheels with kids?
Come on.
You're making kids remember they can do a cartwheel. You're making kids remember they can do a cartwheel is a sentence for me.
Yeah.
Because there was a point where I stopped doing cartwheels because that shit was corny. And I gotta say it like that. There was a point where things got corny and I got too cool to two-step and try to
Yeah.
dance and be bad at it first
Bro,
till I got
come
good.
on, man. Come
I
on,
got
bro.
too cool for shit.
Come on.
The day I got too cool for shit was the day I started dying.
That be it. You start putting limits on yourself. You start putting limits on what you're enjoying. And then you realize, who told me I was too cool for that? Who told me that this wasn't cool? Wait a minute. My whole palette of what I think is cool is dictated by society that doesn't serve me. You know,
people that can't do cartwheels.
so what is cool? Like being a drug dealer? What is cool? You know what I'm
What's
saying?
cool?
Disrespecting women? Like what's cool?
Disrespecting myself.
That's not cool. Disrespecting myself,
That's
putting
what
all
I
kind of
start the
drugs in your
classes
body. You know, like come on. That's
to
not
disrespect
cool.
someone else is to disrespect yourself.
Right.
Because it shows the value you have for humanity, and you are humanity.
Ooh.
What you do to others is what you do to yourself.
Oh, I love
He's
that.
cheating on his girl. He's cheating on himself. If that's your girl, you deny yourself. And
Come on.
I'm honest about my self-denial. I know my self-denial. I know it so much that it scares me at times.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're denying your gifts to make somebody else feel better. But the people who truly live in love will never not feel good when you are your full gift.
Come on.
Nobody who is fulfilled
Come on.
ever feels slighted by you being your fullest self.
Come on.
And their lack of fulfillment
Come
is
on.
not your responsibility.
That's not your
Never
responsibility.
be accountable for their inability to fulfill themselves.
Nope.
Never be accountable for their inability to fulfill themselves.
Or their,
That's a choice.
or their inability to honor you and your fulfilled self.
Never.
You know?
Oh, that ain't my business. Shout out to Tabitha Brown.
So you just reminded me. I want to do 30 seconds.
Okay.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you? All right. All the positive things about who you are.
I'm in the bag. Let me see. I'm in
All right. Here you go. Who are you?
blessed.
Who are you?
Marquis.
Who are you?
Powerful.
Who are you?
Brilliant.
Who are you?
Innovative.
Who are you?
Intelligent.
Who are you?
Faithful.
Who are you?
Loved.
Who are you?
Limitless.
Who are you?
Fearless.
Who are you?
Resilient.
Who are you?
Persevering.
Who are you?
Prosperous.
Who are you?
Successful.
Who are you?
Intentional.
Who are you?
Intellectual.
Who are you?
Intelligent.
Who are you?
Strong.
Who are you?
Six packed.
Complete.
Yogi.
Nice.
And what's so beautiful, in closing my eyes,
Yeah.
there is a voice asking, who are you? Why do you think you can? Who told you you can? Who said you should be doing a podcast at this space? Did you ask permission before you pulled your mics out?
Bro, you got to feed that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are going to try to tell you who you are all the time, try to put you in this box of, oh, I see, oh, you're dark skinned. You're the dark skinned hat wearing dudes.
Yeah.
I know you.
Oh, you're the gym teacher.
Are you the gym teacher?
When you taught math and tech and yoga to second and third graders.
Come on. He got to be soft. He's a yoga guy. Oh, he's one of those.
It's like
nah.
I don't even got to speak on it. And that be the part. It's
right.
like, that's why I laugh as much as I laugh.
Yeah, it's just like
Say,
thumbs up.
Run with it.
All right. Sure, you go.
Run with it to your heart's content.
Sure.
Because I'm going this way. I'm going this way.
I'm going this way. Onward and upward, you know what I'm saying? You know? Okay, it's my turn because I like doing this exercise, you know what I'm saying?
Set the timer.
You ready? Yep. Okay.
30. Who are you?
A change maker.
Who are you?
Impactful.
Who are you?
A leader.
Who are you?
An influencer.
Who are you?
Victorious.
Who are you?
Huge.
Who are you?
A lover.
Who are you?
A fighter.
Who are you?
Strength.
Who are you?
Action.
Who are you?
Compassion.
Who are you?
Intelligence.
Who are you?
Fearlessness.
Who are you?
An adventurer.
Who are you?
Exciting.
Who are you?
Expansive.
Who are you?
Enduring.
Who will you be?
Sustainable.
My best self.
My best self. That's who I am.
No days off.
No days off. You know what I'm saying? Even when I'm leisure, you know,
It's still the best.
Yeah,
It's the best leisure.
We still the best. We still the best, man. We, you know what I'm saying, and still cultivating that. Like, cause I'm always, you know, I'm always cultivating being the best and being mindful and putting enlightening more inside of my mind. You know what I'm saying? That's what enlightenment is about. Like being able to light on the inside. You know what I'm saying? I'm always trying to shine those lights in different parts of myself to understand myself fully. And if that's not aligned with who I'm becoming, changing that, doing what's necessary, honoring myself enough to have that discipline to do what's necessary, you know, because I feel personally I have a lot to give to this world, to bring to this world. So I'm going to do what's necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been in a place of not serving and wondering and feeling like, you know, what's my digging for my purpose. You know what I'm saying? So now that I've caught wind of it, you know, and I'm kind of seeing things clearly on the inside because the light's on, you know what I'm saying? I'm going for that. I'm committing to it. You know?
What would you thank your lowest self for?
What would I thank my lower self for?
Your lower self. If you acknowledge lower self, what would you thank your shadow for?
I mean, I would say I'd like to thank my shadow self for the pleasure that was given. I used to like really be into like a lot of sex. You know,
It happens. Great minds.
And it was, you know, I was like, hey, what's up? And I could talk. So, you know what I'm saying? I would say some
mouthpiece.
I say some things. Yeah, I say some things. And before you know it, day one, day two.
How did we get here this much?
How did we get here? I don't know. I just felt so comfortable. Yeah.
I'm comfortable.
Me too. Me too, boo. But you know what I'm saying? Like just but that pleasure, being able to know what that spectrum is like, and to be able to realize the emptiness that was in some of those relationships, and the unalignment, and sometimes, you know what I'm saying, the unworthiness of you know, sharing energy, you know, and the danger of sharing energy with certain women. You know what I'm saying?
So who are you with nothing includes
game.
who are you without the sexual conquest? Who are you without these? Because they're societal victories. I joke about how there's individuals who go to this plane and never had sex.
Yeah.
They don't get back into it. They didn't get back in after they left it.
Yeah.
Like, you come out of it, you don't get to go back in it.
Yeah, no.
It's a different reality.
That's funny.
You know, but it happens.
I've been trying to,
It's people that don't make it past number 5
Yeah.
in their relationships. So this, when I sit with it, is like sometimes overlooking how much you truly have.
Yeah.
And those experiences were not all fulfilling. Is what isn't spoken on as well. Because there's somebody fantasizing about it. Like we joked about the real estate millionaire author who never made $1 million through real estate. Might make $1 million through that book. Might make 50 bands from that book, but won't make $1 million from real estate. That's not your game. So it's like, we got people talking about sexual conquest that don't have any, that don't have enough to speak on, that don't have enough unfulfilling ones to know how unfulfilling it can be. That may never have any fulfilling ones who speak about all experiences.
Facts.
Like you've never made the woman have her best experience.
Yeah.
You aren't the reason that she's up at 3 a.m.
Right.
Like there's people who don't have that reality in their life, and they have too much of a voice. So I've been very intentional about like having these conversations in a healthy way, because I know how toxic it can get. Because I know how loose with the thought I can be, and how explicit it can go, and how uncomfortable people can be with it. But it's like, that is also a reality. My reality has been that if I'm dating a woman and that part comes into it, I'm getting breakfast the next morning. Without question.
Hands down.
She don't got no food in the crib. She gonna find something to make. She gonna order something.
What can I do for you?
What can now I provide after all you provided?
Straight up.
Healthy.
Straight up healthy.
And I'm eating healthy. I'm fed. And I feed.
Indeed.
So I'm fed.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Right.
With that part, I want to genuinely have that conversation more because we're stepping into an era where people are talking about being free in spaces they don't know what it looks like to be free in. Like people do not have as much sexual access as they think they do.
True.
They do not have as much access to wealth as they believe they can.
And I think a lot of times too, if they have, there's always this kind of slingshot effect where if somebody has, it's almost like the preacher's kid. You know what I'm saying? Like the preacher's kid has so many constraints and expectations on them.
Lord.
And then they get into a place where they're able to have freedom and then they just wild out.
Have mercy.
You know what I'm saying? And I hate to drop my girl's name in here, but
don't kill it.
I gotta say it. You know what I'm about to say? Who I'm about to say?
Is it celebrity?
It's celebrity.
I kind of got an idea.
Who I'm about to say?
I might have to blank it, but go ahead.
I'm just kidding before I say it because I feel
It's
like
a couple celebrities. Is it very recent?
Very recent.
Is it she has a boyfriend that had an issue with something?
No, I don't think that's the one. No.
Okay, it's very recent though.
Very recent.
Church family.
I think so, but once conservative.
Once conservative.
I'm going for it.
Okay.
Janelle Monáe.
Okay.
So you know what I'm saying? I feel like Janelle Monáe.
Yeah, it's a big twist.
You know what I'm saying? Like she went from almost like a little bow tie, you know what I'm saying? Super conservative, all the way covered up. Now she's in this space of like freedom and you know what I'm saying? And it seems unbalanced, but in the essence of how conservative she was, it's like that slingshot effect where she has to go far left because she was so far right. You know what I'm saying? In order to kind of
what was already to substantiate yourself in the other space.
Yeah, kind of to substantiate. Exactly. You know, and it's and kind of like dive into it head first because it can be an unknown space to her. Like she's not used to that kind of freedom. So it's like her freedom looks like I'm all the way out there instead of like, you know, I'm still kind of honoring and dignified with my body. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, nah, like I'm free enough to show everything and everybody show all their everything. You know what I'm saying?
It's very interesting.
So
because Kanye did a similar thing. Kanye went from full debauchery to Jesus. Now.
Right.
So I kind of laugh mentally at this thought because while I enjoy seeing people find new ways to be, don't think when you come to the other side you should have the loudest voice.
But that's the way it is though.
Because your perspective has been so grounded in this other space. It's been so substantial in this other space. Whereas like, okay, I accept Janelle Monáe telling me read more Malcolm X and read more about Ona Judge or Ida B. Wells. I don't know if I really hear you when you talking about how strippers should be treated. Can we get some strippers in here?
Right.
Can we get some strippers veteran strippers who really understand?
You got a stripper though.
Understand the glory and the death and the
sacrifice of dignity at times,
and the sacrifice of dignity and a true pain. And the days you miss with your daughter, the dances you couldn't go to because you didn't feel sanctified enough to be in this space with regular working individuals. I want to hear it from the person who did the full trauma bath. Not dipped a toe and wants to give me a glory story. Because I was in the trap and we was whipping coke.
Come on.
I want to hear from the drug dealer whose child got a whiff because it was in the air. Whose babies are hurt by his decisions. I want to hear from that person. I don't want to hear about the person who made 100 on their first play. You made 100 mil on your first play back. Cool. You win. But who died along the way?
Who died?
How many homeboys aren't here anymore because of your decision?
Right. Exactly.
Tony
Talk about that story. Talk about the whole story, you know? But that's, you know, what we were talking about the whole Hollywood thing. That's, you know,
the 2D picture.
When you're only getting the 2D picture, you're getting the edited version, you know? And there's, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a there's a dark side to being that free, or being, you know what I'm saying, or to dealing drugs, or to using drugs. Like,
to sexual freedom, there's a dark side.
There's a dark side to sexual
lack
freedom.
of unfulfillment you're speaking about.
You know what I'm saying? That could be a thing.
STDs.
So glad I don't have any.
Likewise. And get tested.
God.
Please get tested.
Please get tested.
Get tested is not.
I'm a year out, so it's about time. I got to do it again. I'm once a year.
The part is
Once
important.
a year, you know what I'm saying? But
wear condoms, lambskin,
wear condoms
if you can, because
Indeed.
a lot of women have latex allergies.
Yeah.
Her vaginal health is important to your penis health. Like,
Yeah.
it's important to the children she may have someday. There's things sitting within space because we don't identify. Some things are not identified.
Yeah.
Some things don't show a symptom. Right?
Right.
This is sexual health that's not being spoken on. So it's like, that's the part where it's like,
It's not
let's
being spoken
speak
on.
on the
Right.
sexual health aspect.
Right. And don't talk about sexual freedom and not talk about
Sexual health.
sexual health and protection. And let's talk about how a woman being free like that and having sex with a lot of guys and half of them not wearing a condom. One, you might not know who the father is, you know, and two, women get sexually transmitted diseases 30%, 35% more than men because it's your insides.
Yep.
It's not equal.
In that
And
regard.
it's not supposed to be. You guys have a sacred space, which is also the portal of which new souls come out of.
Literally.
It's a huge charge. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, like, being free with it is one thing, but also
It's a beautiful
acknowledging
responsibility.
It's a beautiful responsibility. Acknowledging it as a sacred space, you know? And this is not I don't wanna seem like I'm trying to overly monitor, but I'm just trying to talk about what the implications of honoring
certain decisions.
You know what I'm saying? Like spaces without fully examining it.
One thing I sit
Or
with.
glorifying. Yeah.
Mom's dad stays with one woman his whole life.
Yeah.
Dad's dad doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Has multiple women
Yeah.
that he had 4 relationships with.
Yeah.
Children by 3 women.
Mm-hmm.
Documented. That's granddad.
It's alive.
That's a big
Alive one.
difference.
Yeah. Big difference.
In understanding
Mhm.
of love, commitment, what it looks like when relationships go south.
Mm.
Because when relationship has bumpy parts on mom's side, you stay. Dad's understands, like, don't kill yourself for a relationship. On
Yeah.
either end,
Mm.
alcoholism is done on both sides.
Oh wow.
Different ways.
Mm.
Friday night, granddad goes to his house. His brother lives 2 doors down. They have the block. His brother lives 2 doors down. At a certain point, his daughter lives 2 doors down.
Yeah.
Row house setup. It looks like the set of a Sanford and Son, like the set of
That's funny.
like sitcom show. He drinks to celebrate the work week, the family around him, the abundance.
Mm.
And that on dad's side, drinks in isolation to party, not always with family, with extras, with friends. We all drunk together. He dies at a bar. They both die with liquor involved.
Really?
Cirrhosis on my
Oh no.
right, dialysis.
Wow.
Like my grandmother was dehydrated to the point of dementia because of this toxin.
Wow.
Ultimately. So people don't understand those aspects of my story because when do you find time to tell them
Mm.
in a way where we can even unpack it in this way?
So we gotta communicate, bro.
And those dichotomies, like I
We
said,
gotta
those
communicate the
2 ends of the
dichotomies.
extreme.
Yeah.
It's the child I'm raised by, the people raised by those realities.
Yeah.
My grandmother on my father's
Wow.
side, very church based,
Yeah.
super church based.
Yeah.
Like 23rd Psalm is on my forehead in my mind.
Yeah.
Like I read it front to back
Yeah.
and put amen at the end. And then I go do yoga, which is demonic in some circles. But
Some
grandma
circles.
accepts me,
Yeah.
right? Grandma on mom's side, she speak about God, but he a little freer over here.
Yeah.
Grandma got 12 kids. She's
Yeah.
a woman with 12 kids. No matter what society you in, we know that means you having some sex.
A lot of sex.
Children are cursing by 5 with my grandma on mom's
Oh
side.
wow.
To the point where we all laughing, like, oh, that's cute.
Oh my
She
god.
said for the first time. She said, we all laughing about it.
Yeah.
So like I said, to be in between
Yeah.
these two worlds
Mhm.
and then be labeled at 19 schizophrenic. Not being able to understand reality. What is reality when both of those worlds are true? There's no lie on either side.
Right.
They're as true as they need to be. They're as true as they are.
Yeah.
This reality doesn't make this one any less real. The life of the stripper does not make the life of the nun any less true. The nun might have been a stripper in her past life.
Might have been.
She might have been a stripper in this life.
Right.
The stripper may one day become the nun.
Right. And that's I think that's the beauty. It's the spectrum.
Spectrum.
When you're able to respect the spectrum and you're able to make a choice, a knowledgeable choice of being like, I don't want what this side of the spectrum gave me anymore. You know, and you know, if I do this, then this is the fruits of me choosing to walk along the spectrum. And when I say spectrum, I'm talking about like vibrancy. You know, like this is an energy field, you know? Like when you have a certain vibe, you emit a certain frequency and you have a certain reality based on that frequency. This is quantum physics. This is not guessing. You know what I'm saying?
And my
This is a real
internal
thing.
denial is not an external showing. I don't have to make it a show to say that's wrong because I'm not doing it.
No.
My denial of it for myself is my self-understanding.
Ooh.
I do not make sense as a stripper. I do not make sense as a nun.
Nope.
And my concept is not disrespecting anybody who decides they make sense as a stripper, even if they are me in this space.
That's their choice.
This is
And
my
I-
choice.
And I can respect seeing me and you
I can
on the
respect
other
seeing
side
you.
of the spectrum and being like, I honor that, bro. You got it. You got it. Try for your family. I can understand that. You know, have you ever thought about this? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever about that? I'm just trying to widen your perspective.
And understand when you
know what I'm
have
saying?
it,
Perception.
you
And that's
have
cool.
it fully.
Yeah.
That's where the issue comes in community at times. When you have it fully. When you're the leader, everything you say matters. Everything I say in this space now is up for accountability on my end. Even if I deny it and wish that it wasn't, everything I say now has value.
Right.
If I say our house is a safe space, somebody comes here and gets a racist look, they're questioning me.
Yeah.
Because I'm the reason they trusted this space.
Yeah.
If I say go to Marriott Gym, nobody will bother you, and somebody has an experience in Marriott Gym that does not reflect that,
Yeah.
even if they do not come to community to say it, that transaction is now done and that space is untrustworthy in someone's mind
Right.
enough for them to steer others away from it and now question, why are you steering others away from it? So in community, there's a lot of parts of this that everybody's not armed to work with. We're not all as equipped as we think. We're not all as healed. Some of our healers are not at the point that they think they are. I have not been at the point I thought I was in community and have
Same.
had to be accountable for
Same.
my lack of it.
Oof. You said a word right there, boy.
We got to do part 2.
Yeah.
And I got to end it here,
Indeed,
even though I'm worried.
indeed. This is probably gonna be like a broken down
Bro.
into like 3 different sessions. This is a
blessing.
blessing indeed. I
It's-
think this is great content. I'm gonna put this all over my my IG.
I got clips on the way for you.
Yeah.
That's one.
Okay.
I'm in a space that's weird because I'm doing more and more interviews.
Okay.
I don't feel comfortable just giving them away for free because of the 70 I did before. So like I'm at the point where I got like almost 20 new ones
Okay.
with different people.
Well, I
And
think
I'm
maybe
clipping them.
this one for free, and then the part 2.
That's the part.
Yeah.
But look, this is the powerful part too. I clip all of them anyway.
Okay. Nice.
So even if you don't have a full concept,
Right.
you have clips to promote what you said. You have somewhere to live. You have something to live off and tell.
yeah.
And that's been my concept. That's why I've had to be like transparent in I'm not charging people to do this, but I'm playing all the roles. I'm the sound guy. I'm the editor.
I love it.
I'm the graphic designer who does the intro.
Yeah.
I put the outro music on. I put every card you see on it. And it's at some point it was like, because I had to, then it was because I was proud to, and now it's because it's now a reference that you can too.
Yeah.
So it's shifted. I was proud to be like, I do it all on my own. Then I was resentful of the fact that I'm doing it all on my own because I'm 20 plus podcasting.
Yeah.
And then it's the point where I'm like, well, somebody out here thinks they need more and they think they have to be perfect to do it.
Got you.
Start of our interview.
Yes. Yeah. Indeed. You ain't got to be perfect.
You don't have to be
Just
perfect.
take the first step. Ready, fire, aim.
You have to be.
You have to be. Because I am.
And what you are is a
The
choice.
I am is going to just be.
What is your who are you?
What is your who are you?
One day made better is many days made greater. I'm uplifting you to be in a world that cares. If I keep it to myself, I think that is unfair. The joy I've been given is best when shared. Visionaries never die. Legends survive through the seeds we sow. Daily we get better with time. Wishing you peace, prosperity, and many blessings. I'm grateful for Victor and his organization.
Ashe, as I am for you.
Yes, sir.
Peace, love, and blessings. No stressing, y'all.
No stressing.
Yeah.
No question.
All right. Yeah, sir. Dope, King. Dope. Yeah. I don't see this.
Yeah. We were searching for the right way, did a lot of wrong. Can't go back, gotta move on. Gotta move forward, corrections given and accept that living still brings pain. Even when you're moving with the best intentions and you blessed with visions of joy, bliss, peace. Gratitude for every day I live to speak and I live to breathe in wealth and abundance. Traumas get healed when the shadows confront it. I know my